Hey guys, this is Genesis here. I have started updating Vcom AI again, and I'm also doing a little thing where I record what I'm doing when I'm scripting just to it helps me keep going with the project, and it also lets you guys know what I am doing, and also allows you for more input. You get to see the process as it kind of unfolds. I won't record everything that I do with it, but a big chunk of it. So, right now, what I'm doing is I just loaded it up for the first time in a very long time. I've been working a lot on degeneration, which you can find other videos of that on this forum as well. And taking that break really allowed me to kind of take a new, fresh look at Vcom AI, and also applies a lot better scripting knowledge. I got much better with scripting and how that looks and things like that. So you can kind of see that here. Um, so the first thing I'm doing really is I don't really know what I'm doing. I just loaded up a bunch of scripts. I'm looking at them. I'm trying to optimize them. Um, and I did that a little bit. What I did off screen was I optimized a lot of functions and things, make them go quicker to really get rid of a lot of that stuttering that was caused by Vcom AI. So that hopefully will be improved. And now what I'm doing here is I'm trying to figure out. Um, I want to make the AI move more dynamically towards waypoints. So one of the things that really bothered me that I never got quite right in Vcom AI was the AI would set the waypoints, but they would kind of still sit in the same area. I mean, they would kind of move around a little bit, but they would be still more or less static. Um, I mean, more mobile than vanilla AI, but not as mobile as I would want. So I'm trying to figure out what's a way that I can do that. And so right now I'm looking in the flank maneuver SQF there you can see at the top, and I just use Notepad++ with I can't even remember. I did install it so long ago, like a little Arma 3 scripting package installed. It just makes it add some color to it, makes it a little bit easier to see on the eyes. You can see right now I'm just creating inside a function already a little spawn here, which will create another thread to have this group do something that I want them to do. I end up changing this to a different spot because I kind of even forget like I have done so so many scripts. I just can't remember them all. Actually, I'm just curious. While I'm recording this, let's go and load up dgen, and I want to see. I don't know if this is gonna be a good idea. I want to see how many roughly lines of code that my other mod is that I'm working here is. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and load that up really quick. And while that loads, it'll take a little second there. So you can see I'm in game now. I'm using this NEPA's workshop, so the RTCE, RTSE, which is an in-game thing. It's pretty much like what Arma 3 has by default if you enable it in the description.ext file. But I prefer a mod of it because it allows me to customize it a little bit more, and actually I just think it looks nicer, takes up more room. Um, I just feel like it's a little bit easier to implement. Plus, I don't need to do description.ext in every, you know, mission that I want to mod in, if I want to mod in like a certain scenario without having to edit. So you can see I'm testing some things right now. What I'm doing right now, all this loads, is that I am trying to figure out just some basic command stuff. Like if I give myself a waypoint, will this pull the correct waypoint position? Because I need to make sure, and it does. So with that test, you could see it was actually off by 2 meters or so. So if I needed to be exact with this, I would not want to use that, or accept the fact that it will be a couple of meters off. So I'm setting up a function here. My idea was this is what the squad leader. So this script, this function only runs for the squad leader. So I'm gonna have him control. He decides when all the AI decide to move to this point, which I eventually changed later for multiple reasons. For one reason was Vcom AI is more focused on the specific individual AI intelligence and how they work together as a group. And you can see the FSMs right there. This is the danger identify FSM, and that just stands for finite state machine, and that's more or less the brain of the AI, right? That I have two of them. AI function on two. The danger identify one is kind of what it sounds like. It just is a FSM that runs repeatedly for the AI brain trying to identify threats. Some of them are that Bohemia does because I've removed Bohemia's FSMs from the AI, some of their more combat ones, and I have my own in there, so which is why they can sometimes act a little bit different, and it gives me more control over what they do. So you can see I'm even trying to comment what I'm doing, so you can kind of even follow around. I know this is sped up by 350%, just to make it a little bit more bearable to watch. Okay, so I'm testing that right now, and while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and see how many lines of code. Degeneration is a project I have been working on for years now, from time on and off, of course. Okay, so here's an in-game test that I'm doing here. Just trying to see, what how this is working, and I just kind of messing around here. I wanted to see some basic functions. Will the AI use static weapons? Will they still use vehicles for cover? You can see I just saw an error there. I'm gonna go and try to fix, and I forgot I made a common mistake there that I always do. So I saw that the AI did actually garrison that, which was nice, but I went ahead and recompiled that. One thing I love about using RTSE is I can copy it. You can see this defined.sqf at the top here. I can copy a function. Instead of having me to stop the mission, recompile it, and try again, I could just have redefine it on the fly, and see how it works then. And you can see I just did that, now the error is gone. So it really does speed up testing. And so I'm looking at this, and so the point of this is for the AI to move and to move around a bit more. Well, they're taking cover better, they're laying down, but they're also very twitchy. So the move command isn't working. So okay, let's try do move. The difference between move command is a lower priority command, and I try not to use do move, but unless I really want to force them to move. And so that's what I'm doing here. And so I went ahead and just changed it to do move, and I'm going to see how that works here. Okay, and while they get moving, in degeneration, I have 410,000 lines of code, roughly. I just did a search for a semicolon. And this is where you can see the AI here are really twitchy. In degeneration, so I have 410,000 lines of code in 704 files. So, and I would say at least 90% of those files were created by scratch. So, damn. So I spent a lot of time working on that to get my skills a little bit better, and coming back to Vcom AI, which is much less than that. I should benefit from that knowledge that I've spent doing that. So I'm back in move in combat, which is this script is I clean this up because it looks like a mess right now. I clean this up. I'm trying to remember what everything does. I'm kind of looking at it. What this script does is I already had a function in there to make the AI move towards the waypoint, but I looked at it and I realized for some reason I changed it from them moving to a waypoint to closer to the enemy in some random direction. I'm not sure why that was like that. I don't even remember what I was thinking, but I'm going to go ahead and start changing that. You're going to see me delete a lot and go back and forth a lot here. I just couldn't decide what I wanted to do, and it's just also was fixing a couple errors. So here's the AI behavior again. This FSM is more of, you can kind of see more fancy, quote unquote, actions the AI could do, like plant satchels. Should I garrison? The static, should I move to cover? Those are held by there, and it separates the squad leaders from the other units and things like that. Okay, so I actually loaded up the wrong files here, so I will go ahead and correct that. And so I'm kind of changing this. So I have combat movement up there, which is combat movement, which the purpose of that script was to have the AI stop and fire at a target if they're moving. If I give them a do move command, they won't fire. Or if I disable certain functions, then they won't fire. So, but I end up changing that a little bit. I make it so if the enemy is like within 500 meters and they can see them, then they will stop and fire. Otherwise, they'll keep moving for cover, because sometimes you get these situations where the AI can technically see the other AI like a kilometer or even 800 meters away, but it would be much smarter to go ahead and risk it to get behind cover or move towards the waypoint than to lay down or stand there and stare at the enemy and try to get a shot off when you're obviously outgunned. So I end up changing that. So this script right here, the move in combat one I was talking about, does get gutted here. You're about to see me do that soon-ish. I don't remember exactly when I did that, um, but I do. Let's see. And I just now I'm trying to update it here and there to make it a bit more functional. And that has so many variables and things. There's a lot of things that need to get optimized, or that can get further optimized. I already did a bunch of that with some functions that I found quicker and more efficient ways to run them, so that's going to help a lot. Um, but here I go. I'm going to start getting the script. So essentially what I ended up doing is whatever I wrote in the flank maneuver, instead of having the leader do it, I'm going to go ahead and have the individual AI units decide when it's best for them to move towards the waypoint. And we're going to see how that works. The first run of this, which you're about to see, doesn't go as well as I'd hope, and you're about to see why. But then I think the very end, what you see is starting to look more promising. I won't say it's perfect, but it's much better. So every 15 seconds, just for testing purposes right now, they'll be able to do this move action again. You can see in the combat brain there, they got some. That's kind of how it's lower priority function is to move towards a waypoint. So if there's a static nearby, or if they have satchels and they want to use them on the enemy, they can do that. There's a lot of other functions. So this is already kind of a lower priority thing. So here I go back into the game to test it. Okay. Alright, so you can go ahead and see now that I'm getting the squad set up. And this is the one that I could see some differences happening, but still not too keen on what happened. So you can see they got the two squads approaching each other. And the airfield itself is it's always kind of a kryptonite for AI. It's always an awkward position to put AI in because it's just a flat area. And there's really not even that much cover or anything to do, so you have to have flexible commands. So you can see the AI here deployed smoke, which I think is actually pretty smart towards the enemy, and most of the OPFOR are falling back. They want to, but you can see that it's actually pretty slow. They're all laying down, which is much better than before. So he's trying to move up to a bush here to kind of get a good spot, and they have a rifleman moving up, auto rifleman moving up to kind of suppress. But I'm noticing some things. But they're laying down a little bit too much for my liking. I like it when the AI maybe stand up, crouch. I want the AI to be able to choose, which is this set unit pause auto. Lets the AI choose if they want to lay down, stand up, or crawl or whatever. And I don't want to have to forcefully dictate that. So you can see I use that RTSE again to redefine the script while in their combat to see what's going on. And you can see the AI, unlike vanilla AI, that would have charged into each other and just stood there and died. Well, Op4 had a couple guys move out while the rest of them kind of fall back. You can see Blue 4 is trying to skirt around the field, which in my opinion is still much better. It's never going to be perfect because you're still going to have a couple AI who get caught by surprise, or they just decide to path through an open area, which I just can't control it that much. So here's a little known fact: using the do stop command, even if you're using FFSIMs and things like that, can be really tricky. So if you want to force AI to stop, I'd recommend actually just using force speed 0, and then using force speed negative 1 if you want them to move again, because it tends to work out a little bit better. It's not as overbearing. Okay, so this is where I redid it a little bit here. And I actually like the results here. This is a good start. So you see Blue 4 gets kind of surprised. They decide to deploy smoke on that hill, and you can see the AI scrambling for cover. And you can see the Op4 doing the same thing. I know this is going really fast, but they're going for cover. Blue 4, they're both suffering casualties already. The AI is pretty accurate right now. And the longer the AI sticks in place, the more accurate they get onto each other. So it's important that they keep moving. So you can see at the end there, and it just cut off, but you can see that they were starting to move a lot better, and I did not record as much as I wanted. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about scripts or any ideas, go ahead and post in the comments or on the forums. If you want help with the script, go ahead and post it here or in the forums, and I can help you maybe make a video about it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.